Hi, some thoughts for today, the third Sunday of Easter. It's gone, screamed one newspaper. Fighting for survival, headlines another paper. We have reached that time of the year, a time when crucial issues are resolved, a time when fingernails are bitten down to the bone, a time for reflecting on maybes and what might have beens, and if onlys, a time when dreams are crushed and other dreams are realised. A time of tension, anxiety and high drama. What is this helter-skelter, topsy-turvy time? It's nothing else than the climax of yet another football season. Will it be Liverpool or Manchester City? Can poor Everton stay up? Will Fulham survive in the top tier? What is going to happen to poor old Scunthorpe? Fans up and down the country will be weighing up their team's chances. Will they? Won't they? Oh well, whatever. There's always next August when it all starts again. Another person today has reached that time, the time of relegation and promotion. A time of reflecting on what might have been, and a time of maybes and if onlys. A time of anxiety, tension, looking back, and anxiety about the future. No, this is not another football manager. Instead, it is the time in which Peter, the fisherman from Galilee, the friend of Jesus, is now finding himself. Poor Peter. He goes off to fish, probably thinking, where did it all go wrong? There we were at one time, riding high, leading the Premiership, 12 points clear, no one to touch us, and then suddenly we've become relegation material. Our inspirational leader has gone, and the team is in tatters. There is me, Peter, the rock of the defence, with nothing to defend. The attack, inspired by James and John, is nowhere. Even Judas, working at the heart of our midfield, has taken a bribe to help cause our meteoric fall. If only been able to keep it going. We could just not be beaten. Now look at us. We can't even raise a full team. No wonder Peter went back to fishing, to what was familiar and safe. It seems all over for Peter and the gang who promised so much. However, Peter is in for a big surprise. He nets a huge catch of fish, sees a charcoal fire burning on the beach, and Jesus sitting there waiting for Peter to bring home the breakfast. Then, after sharing this early morning meal, Jesus and Peter take a walk together along the lake shore. During this time together, Jesus asks Peter quite simply, "Do you love me?" It probably should have been Peter asking Jesus, "Do you still love me after all I said and did not do?" But it is Jesus who asks the question, as he has always done. So Jesus asks Peter 3 times, and 3 times Peter replies, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." After each response, Jesus gives Peter a job to do. First, Jesus says, "Feed my lambs." Then he says, "Look after my sheep." And finally, Jesus asks Peter to feed his sheep. Jesus does not leave Peter relegated. He does not leave Peter in despair because of his desertion and denial of Jesus. Instead, Jesus promotes him immediately. He gives Peter a job to do, to carry on his work, taking care of his people, teaching them, guiding them, and being there for them. Peter is not just left where he is. He's not abandoned and just left with his regrets and disappointment. Jesus lifts him up, and assured of his love, Peter is given a fresh opportunity and a new task to undertake. Peter recognized that despite everything, Jesus loves him and trusts him. Today, Jesus looks at us and asks quite simply, "Do you love me?" Like Peter, we too live in a world of winners and losers, of those going for promotion yet living in fear of relegation. It's a world of anxiety and fear, and a world that can seem increasingly selfish. It will become a world of if only or what might have been. Like Peter, Jesus asks, "Do you love me?" He waits for our response. Whatever our situation, wherever we are, Jesus wants us to respond, yes, Lord, you know I love you. Then he asks us to live our lives in that love. He wants us to care for one another, look out for one another in his love. So Peter's work becomes our work, to love the Lord, to recognize his presence and direction in our own lives, and to give that love to those whom we meet. So travel safe, pilgrim.